everybody, it's me again. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing well. Yeah, it's really early in the morning. I usually do not get up this early. My hair is done. I've washed my face. I've taken a shower. But I haven't had coffee yet. So if I start stumbling over my words, you'll know why. Yeah, it's early in the morning. I do not have my phone in here. I think it's around the 9:30 mark. I can't see the clock over there. It's way too far away. So yeah, it's around 9:30. So you have seen the title of the video. Yes, I'm going to be doing a review on Pat McGrath's Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. Now, when I first purchased this foundation, I purchased Light 7, which is a yellow-based foundation. And I really, really like it for real life. On camera, I think it makes me look a little blown out with my lights. So, I did purchase Light Medium 13, and it is also a yellow-based foundation. So I do cocktail 2 shades of the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Foundation. There probably is one in the middle that I could find, but I kind of felt like, having a darker foundation for the summertime, if I do, because I do go outside. I do some light yard work. I do plant flowers. I do a little bit outside, and my skin doesn't tan, but I guess it does tan, but just a little bit. So it's really good to have a darker foundation that you can cocktail with your regular winter, spring foundation and make your perfect shade. I know it's very expensive. I believe this foundation is around the $68, $69 mark. If I'm wrong, I'm going to put it down here. Yeah, so, I have 2 bottles, so you're looking at about $130. Yeah, that's a lot to pay for a foundation, but I have been using this. I think I hauled Light 7 back in my I'm Back video, which was either around August or September. I'm not quite sure. And I have been using it since then. So I do have a really good feel about this foundation. And is this foundation good for dry, dehydrated skin? Now, it is described as a satin sublime finish. So, as I've told you before, I have super dry, dehydrated skin, but it's all in the way that I prep my skin. That is why I can wear satin foundations, long-wearing foundations, matte foundations, demi-matte foundations. My skincare routine works for me. And if you haven't seen my skincare routine, I just uploaded that a few days ago. So I will link that in a card up here. You will have seen that first. Yes, so I have already prepped my skin. I do not have any eyebrows on. Yeah, I don't have any eyebrows. I should have put them on before the start of this video, but I wanted you to see my skin natural, the way it looks naturally before I put my makeup on. So, yes, we are going to be doing a demo of this foundation. I do cocktail. What I do is I do about 1.5 pumps of Light 7, and then I use about 1/4 pump of Light Medium 13. And I mix it together on the back of my hand, dot it all over my face. I use a sponge, a beauty sponge, and I swipe it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick demo of this foundation, and then I'm going to show you my actual foundation routine. I'm going to show you my bronzer, my cream bronzer, my powdered bronzer, my blusher, and my highlight. And then I will go off camera, finish my eyes, and then I will come back to you and give you my review on this foundation. Is it good for dry, dehydrated skin? Is it good for over 50? Is it good for over 50? We all see the models. They all look like they're in their 20s, but, it says it's for all skin types. But I really should think that these companies should say, is it for all ages? Is it going to sink in your fine lines? Is it going to sink around your crow's feet? Is it going to attach to your dry patches? And we will answer all those questions. So I'm going to go and do a really quick demo of this foundation and my foundation routine. I'm going to set that to music because it's a lot easier than me doing a talk through tutorial because it takes too long. So I can go ahead and edit that down and you can actually get the gist of what I do for my foundation routine. And then after I do my eyes off camera, I will come back and I will give you my full review on this foundation. Is it good for dry, dehydrated skin? Is it good for over 50 skin? And would I recommend it to you? Okay, so let's get to it.
Forever one. I wanna
yeah, so I haven't put any eye makeup on because I wanted you to see my foundation routine just as it is without being distracted by my eye makeup. So you saw in the video, I did use the McGrath Skin Fetish foundation. I do mix, let me reach over here because I can never remember, shades light 7 and shades light medium 13. And I use about a pump and a half of light 7. I think I showed you on camera. And then I use about a half a pump of light medium 13. And that really is my perfect shade. I've tried equal amounts before and it's a little bit too dark because my neck is so light. So I want to have my face match my neck. Now I do have bronzer on my skin, but I haven't powdered underneath my eyes yet. So I just wanted to show you the skin. Once I powder underneath my eyes, it's light. And then my brow bone will be light, and then my neck will be light. So everything will be balanced out. And then I usually powder right in the center, but I haven't done that yet because I wanted you to see my skin as, you know, just as it is. I did use the McGrath foundation. I used the Chanel Bronze Universal. Over the top of that, I used the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural powder in the shade Dark as my bronzer. Love that. Oh my gosh, I love it to death. You know, it's been sitting in my drawer for the last 2 years, and now it's sitting in my top drawer, and I can't get away from it. I absolutely love it. And for my blush, I broke out the infamous Harmony Blush by MAC. Oh my gosh, I just love it. It's nice and matte, and you know, I didn't want to really go sparkly on the cheeks because I really wanted you to see the foundation and my foundation routine. And for my highlighter, I used old Emerezi. Yep, can't get away from her. Love her. And of course, in order to test out, to see if a foundation is going to work for me, it's got to work with my Guerlain pearls. It's got to work with my pearls. If it doesn't work with my pearls, I'm not going to like it because the Guerlain pearls are my finishing powder, and it really does give me such a beautiful glow. I get so many compliments on my foundation. I feel like I have said this before, and I'm sorry if this is a repeat, but I feel like your foundation is the primer before the paint. So if your foundation does not look good, anything else you put on your face or whatever you do to your eyes is not going to look good because your foundation is not going to look good. And I'm really anal about my foundation. I want it to look exceptional. So yeah, so I wanted you to see my foundation. That was my foundation routine. It was really, really quick. It only took me, I think, about 8 minutes on camera. It probably took about 4 minutes in editing. So yeah, I really love it. It's nice and glowy. So everything you're seeing is the glow of the foundation, and it could be my oils and my moisturizer underneath as well. This is considered a satin foundation, so if I don't prep my skin correctly, it will sink into my lines and it will attach to my dry patches. So I do have to prep my skin. And if you haven't seen my skincare routine that I just posted, it is linked in an iCard up here. So yeah, this is my foundation routine. So I'm going to go ahead and go do my eyes and my lips off camera. And then I will be back to give you my final thoughts on this foundation and let you know if it is good for over 50 skin, dry, dehydrated skin, or if you're 20 and you have dry, dehydrated skin and you're thinking of trying this foundation. Yeah, I will give you my final thoughts as soon as I finish all my makeup, and I'll be right back. You guys, I'm back. Yeah, that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take. It wasn't that the eyeshadow that it took me a long time. I was doing several different things at once. Plus, my husband came home for lunch, And so I had like one eye done, and then I had to come back down here and put another eye on, and then the phone rang, and then I had to return a phone call, and yeah, it's been a while. So this is going to be my first check-in before I give you my actual final thoughts. I am going to do 2 more check-ins with this video, so you can actually see how the foundation performs throughout the day. I'm not sure what time it is now. I think it's about 2.5 hours later since you saw that last clip. So it's probably around noonish, maybe 12:15. So I've had this on for maybe 2.5 hours. It still looks great. It hasn't started to break apart on my nose. And that's usually, that's typical of me with any foundation. It will break up around my nose, and it will break up around my laugh lines and around my 11s. Like I said before, I'm in the shades light 7 and light 13. So I do cocktail my shade for my perfect shade. And I do not mind doing that. I do not mind spending the money to cocktail my perfect shade, because I don't want to be too gray, too orange, or too pink. I definitely want that middle. I want that yellow undertone because I have yellow undertones under my skin. So anyway, all right. So this is the first check-in. So I'll be back in a couple of hours, and we'll see how it's holding up. I have some editing to do, and I have some lunch to eat and all that good stuff. So, and then we'll be back later on tonight, before I take off my makeup, to give you my final thoughts on this foundation. So, I will see you in just a little bit. All right. See you soon. All right, everybody, I'm back again. It is 6:30. I know I said I'd be back in a couple of hours, but I got stuck at my editing desk editing a different video. So it is 6:30 p.m. And this is my second check-in for the Pat McGrath foundation. So yeah, so what I have noticed with this foundation, and this happens to me with all of my foundations, so I can't be picky and take off points on the Pat McGrath foundation, because all foundations always settle into my laugh lines right here. I'm looking in the monitor so I can kind of look at the camera but look over there instead of looking in the mirror over here. So yeah, it always settles in my laugh lines right here. It settles around my nose, always, and it settles right here in my 11. It is what it is for me. I don't know if that's the way it is for you. Let me know down in the comments below if your foundations settle in your lines. I've tried every single primer known to man. I've tried putting a primer on and then powdering the primer and then putting my foundation on. Now that really gives you a beautiful, flawless look when you want to if you wear a primer, powder your primer, add your foundation, add all of your colored cosmetics, and then you can use your Girl on Pearls, or you could use a setting powder, whichever you prefer. And then your makeup will last probably a week, because you are powdering that primer and not letting your natural oils come through. And if you do have someplace special to go where you're going to take pictures, or you're going to a wedding or to a Christmas party or whatever, and you're going to take photos, that is a really excellent way of doing a foundation routine in order to make your makeup last all night long. And if you want to see me do that, if you would like to see a tutorial where I actually do wear a primer and powder it and then do a more full coverage look, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be glad to do that for you. Okay, so like I said, it's 6:35. So next time you see me, I will give you my final thoughts on the foundation. And yeah, so we'll see you probably about 10:30. Okay, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, everybody, it is 10 o'clock, I believe. Yep, it is 10:07. You can see on my phone right there. 10:07 p.m. I have had this foundation on for roughly, 12.5 hours, I believe. You know, there's nothing more I can say about this foundation. If you are over 40 and you have dry, dehydrated skin, you can wear this foundation. But remember my trick. My trick is to exfoliate at least once a week. Use a facial oil and use a good heavy moisturizer, especially this time of year. If you have normal to combo to oily, I still believe you can wear this. You will have to wear a primer, especially if you are oily. You definitely need to wear a primer like the Tatcha primer or the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer. You could wear that if you have oily skin. That is a wonderful primer. I have dry skin and I have tried that and it works amazing. I put it on my nose and towards the end of the day, I start losing foundation on the tip of my nose and on my chin. So I can see my chin is a little red. So I have lost some of the foundation, but I was sitting at my desk like this, editing, you know? So that could be why. But usually foundation tends to disintegrate on me on my nose. You know, I'm just too lazy to do that extra step, especially in the winter, to put just primer on my nose. I figured, oh, well, whatever. So if you are over 40 and you have dry, dehydrated skin, definitely exfoliate once a week, minimum once a week. If you have sensitive skin, you may have to go longer. I do have sensitive skin, so I can only exfoliate once a week. I exfoliated this morning, and I also, I used to have a Clarisonic. If you have a Clarisonic, you can do that a couple of times a week as well. I miss my Clarisonic. My Clarisonic died last year. I had it for 7 years. It did last for 7 years, and I love that thing. I definitely want to get a new Clarisonic facial, bzzz. So I definitely want to get a new one. So hopefully maybe next Christmas or for my birthday, I will be able to get that. So anyway, so I got off topic. So remember to exfoliate, remember to wear a facial oil, and remember to wear a good heavy moisturizer in the wintertime if you have dry, dehydrated skin. If you have normal to combo to oily skin, then just wear a light moisturizer and wear a primer, and you can wear this foundation. I love this foundation. I think it is worth every single red cent. It is very expensive. I believe it is. I will tell you right now. Hold on, let me get to my page. All right, so this foundation retails for $68 on the Pat McGrath website, and I also believe Sephora does carry this foundation as well. And I wanted to read to you before I end this video. It does come in 36 universal shades, and I'm smiling because I love when companies think of everyone. You know, it really torques me off when you go to even the drugstore. Excluding Maybelline, all the other brands, most of the other brands do not include everyone. They only include like light to tan skin tones. They forget the ultralight and they forget the dark and deep dark skin tones. Hello, excuse me. We have how many billions of people on this planet? We are all not created equal. So I am so glad that Pat McGrath has 36 universal shades. So if you go on her website, if you click on a shade, it will tell you whether it has yellow undertones or neutral undertones or pink undertones or golden undertones. I definitely didn't have a problem choosing my shade. Now, I did end up buying 2 shades like I told you before. The first shade I bought was light 7, and I can get away with light 7, especially now in the wintertime. I do bronze my skin, and for real life, I can get away with light 7. But when I'm on camera, I did buy light medium 13, and this is also a yellow-based foundation, to mix in with my foundation to cocktail my perfect shade. So and I have used this alone on camera because the lights in my studio do wash me out. So you cannot tell that it's not the right shade. But on camera, it looks exactly the right shade because the lights do tend to wash you out. So, yeah, so I do cocktail my perfect shade, or if I'm feeling really lazy, I'll just use light 7 and really bronze my skin, and I can get away with it. So, I also wanted to read a little blurb to you before we end this video. It'll be quick, I promise. On the Pat McGrath website, it says, comes in 36 universal color choices and 5 shade levels. Custom curated for all skin types, tones, and undertones. Let's see. This nourishing formulation is crafted with the Vita Serum Complex, designed to help fight the formation of wrinkles by preserving the hydrolytic film barrier of the skin. This complex boosts hydration by activating the natural production of hyaluronic acid and cermicides, which is awesome. Yeah, I definitely need that. It says an illuminating soft focus pigment blended into the formula converts and scatters light, emulating the effect of a healthy, youthful complexion, formulated without parabens, talc, or fragrance, and it's oil-free, which is great for you oily skin girls because you don't need any more oil. Give it to me because I need some. All right, everybody, I better wrap this sucker up. It's getting late. Remember to like and subscribe if you would like. Remember to hit that thumbs up. That really helps me out. And also remember to hit the bell as well so you will be notified of all of my videos in the future. I thank you for watching. I appreciate you sticking around, and have a good weekend, and ciao. Bye-bye.